Sudanandana Prabhu Sudanandana Prabhu Ira Tira Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pari Vrajagacharya Astotara Sata Sri Sri Madhavai Charanarvinda His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Skan BVD Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gauru Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayad Mudiraye Nashtabhayestu Avatresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistuke Yam Syanubhavam Akhilam Sutisaramekam Adhyatma Deepam Atithir Satam Tamandam Samsarna Karunayaha Purana Guyam Tambyasaso Namupayami Gurur Muninam. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, the creation of Fourth Order, chapter 27, attack by Chandavega on the city of Puranjana. Text number 4. Sayana unna damado mahamana Maharhatalpe mahisi bhujopadi Ameva viro manute param yatas Tamo vibhuto na nijam param chayat Sayana unnadhamado mahamana Maharhatalpe mahisi bhujopadi Ameva viro manute param yatas Tamo vibhuto na nijam param chayat Sayana unnadhamado mahamana Maharhatalpe mahisi bhujopadi Tameva viro manute param yatas Tamo vibhuto na nijam param chayat
Shayana unadamado mahamana
Sayana unnadhamado mahamana
Maharhatalpe magishi bhujopadi
Maharhatalpe mahisi bhujopadi
Tameva viro manute param yatas
Ameva viro manute param yatas
Samo vibhuto na nijam param chayat
Tamo vibhuto na nijam param chayat
Sayana unadamado mahamana
Maharhatalpe mahisi bhujopadi Virom te yatas param Sayana, lying down. Unnada madaha, increasingly illusioned. Mahamanaha, advanced in consciousness. Maharhatalpe, unavailable bedstead. Mahisi of the queen. Bhuja, arms. Upadhehe, pillow. Tam, her. Eva, certainly. Biraha, the hero. Manute, he considered. Param, the goal of life. Yataha, from which. Tamaha, by ignorance. Avibhutaha, overwhelmed. Na, not. Nijam, his actual self. Param, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Cha, and yat, what. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jaya. In the way, increasingly overwhelmed by illusion, King Puranjana, although advanced in consciousness, remained always lying down with his head on the pillow of his wife's arms. In this way, he considered woman to be his ultimate life and soul. Becoming thus overwhelmed by the mode of ignorance, he could not understand the meaning of self realization, of his self, or of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please repeat. In this way, increasingly overwhelmed by illusion, King Puranjana, although advanced in consciousness, remained always lying down with his head on the pillow of his wife's arms. In this way, he considered women to be his ultimate life and soul. Becoming thus overwhelmed by the mode of ignorance, he could not understand the meaning of self-realization, of his self, or of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. Human life is meant for self-realization. First of all, one has to realize his own self, which is described in this verse as nijam. Then he has to understand or realize the super soul or Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, when one becomes too much materially attached, he takes a woman to be everything. This is the basic principle of material attachment. In such a condition, one cannot realize his own self or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.2, it is therefore said, Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahu Bimuktes Tamo Dwaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. If one associates with Mahatmas or devotees, his path of liberation is opened. But if one becomes too much attached to women or to persons who are also attached to women, that is, attached to women directly or indirectly, he opens the Tamo Dwaram, the door to the darkest region of hellish life. King Puranjana was a great soul, highly intellectual and possessed of all advanced consciousness. But due to his being too much addicted to women, his whole consciousness was covered. In the modern age, the consciousness of people is too much covered by wine, women, and flesh. Consequently, people are completely unable to make any progress in self-realization. The first step of self-realization is to know oneself as spirit soul apart from the body. In the second stage of self-realization, one comes to know that every soul, every individual living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, Paramatma, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.7. Mamaivam sajiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manasascha nindriyani prakritisthani karsate. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. All living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Unfortunately, in this present civilization, both men and women are allowed to be attracted to one another from the very beginning of life. And because of this, they are completely unable to come to the platform of self-realization. They do not know that without self-realization, they suffer the greatest loss in the human form of life. Thinking of a woman always within one's heart is tantamount to lying down with a woman on a valuable bedstead. The heart is the bedstead, and it is the most valuable bedstead. When a man thinks of woman and money, he lies down and rests on the arm of his beloved woman or wife. In this way, he overindulges in sex life and thus becomes unfit for self-realization. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Bandeham Shri Gurau Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaisnavam Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakhan Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastuti तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि वाञ्छाकल्पतरो वृक्ष कृपा सिन्धु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले स्मृते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Sayanaunnadamado mahamana maharhatalpi mahise bhujopadi Ame babiro manute param yatas tamo vibhuto nanijam param chayat. When a man thinks of women and money, he lies down and rests on the arms of his beloved woman or wife. In this way, he overindulges in sex life and thus becomes unfit for self-realization. This is very clear and straight. Prabhupada is explaining here about the conditioned soul, how the attraction between the opposite sex binds us in this material world. Pumsam striyam mithuni bhavam etam. Pumsam striya mithuni bhavam etam. Tayo mitho hridaya grantim ahur, hridaya grantim. The knot in the heart is formed so strong from the attraction between the opposite sex. Mithuni bhavam, the mood of enjoying mentality with opposite sex is actually the main cause. And that is the prime reason of the living being to fall into this material world from the spiritual world with that spirit of enjoying separately from Krishna. So this idea of freedom, like even in this material world, the country, they want to be free from somebody's ruling. Like America got freedom, all the countries in the whole world got freedom from Great Britain after long ruling. The mentality of freedom is the very prime example that we are still desiring to become God. Even in this material world, we still try to practice our every single effort that we want to become the master of our senses. This is the example. We want to be free. That is every day going on in our life. We want to free from somebody's guidance. We want to be free from temple president's instruction, guidance. Okay, do this, do that. We want to be free from our partners in our life. So in this way, that desire to be away from God is very strongly in our heart even today. Prabhupada says that there is a God, demigod, and minigods. Who are the minigods? We all are minigods. We try to become God every day in our life. Like big demon, Hiranyakasipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, and other great demons, they tried to become God. But we are trying to be like God. We do not have that much power to claim that I want to become God, I am God. Everyone should bow down to me. We do not have that power, but we do have very subtle desire within our heart that I want to become like God. That is the reason that kama, krodha, and lobha appears in our body. I will explain. Kama, lust, the very strong desire to get something in our life. Because in the spiritual world, Krishna is the enjoyer. He is the Bhaktaram. Every item, every individual soul, every single person, they simply assist in Krishna's pleasure. They become the instrument of Krishna's pleasure. And somehow or other, we develop the same desire that we want to enjoy exactly how Krishna enjoys. So when we cannot fulfill that desire, that unlimited desires within our heart, or when we have the desire to enjoy, then the element lost arises in our present, in our body, in our mind. And that really bothers us, that really keeps us away from Krishna. Because originally this element of lost is available, exists in Krishna's life, and we have the same lost desire because we want to become God. This is the proof that we want to become a God. Krodha. Krodha means anger, right? And Krishna is supreme controller. He controls everything under his control. And he does have so many different energies. He can shoot an arrow and target many targets. He can give this service of controlling responsibility to so many different demigods. Like Lord Shiva controls the mode of ignorance. Lord Brahma controls the mode of passion. Lord Vishnu controls the mode of goodness. Our body, there are 18 different demigods that control our eyes, mouth, our tongue, our hands, everything is controlled by somebody else. And our mind is controlled by Lord Shiva. Actually, moon is considered to be the deity of the mind, but moon is also controlled by Lord Shiva. So ultimately, Lord Shiva is the controller of the mind. So this way, God controls everything. And when we want to develop the same desire control in the material world around ourselves, among the devotees or outside in the non-devotional communities, when we cannot control, when we try Krishna to control, then we get mad. The krodha arises. Sometimes we can subtly analyze ourselves that when we come to Krishna consciousness, we are grossly different from people in the material world. They do not have any idea about Krishna consciousness. They are simply indulged in sense gratification. For them, sex enjoyment is the best, topmost thing. So everything they do to enhance their capacity to enjoy sex life. That is the goal. But we are not exactly like them, but we are trying to control and try to serve Krishna. But within that sort of state of consciousness, we are still trying to control things around us. We are still trying to become Krishna. That is why we need to follow someone to do things, service. Even service, performing service without somebody's guidance always gives us the idea to be free from anybody else. And then again, we practice freedom from God. Ultimately, the idea is we want to free from God and we want to become God. That is the idea. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. Lobha means greed. Why do we have greed? Can anybody tell me why do we have greed? How the greed is connected to Krishna, so that we are trying to become Krishna through greed. Let's discuss. Let's open. Let's discuss. Yeah, it's not like I'm speaking, talking, and everybody listening me. Why do we have greed? How can we connect greed with Krishna?
Greedy for service.
Brainstorming.
Greedy for service.
Greedy for service is a real greed, but the greed of having more in our life, making more money, expanding our territory, possessing more opulence. Why we have greed? Why we are not satisfied in something that we have? The reason is Krishna, one of his name is Brahma. Brahma means that ever expand. Krishna's energy, Krishna's opulence is ever expanding. There is no limitation in Krishna's opulences. So as a result, since we were with Krishna at some time, we want to become like Krishna. We want to expand our possession, our wealth, our riches. We want to become Krishna in that way. That is why greed exists in our life. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, once you attain me, then you do not desire anything more to gain in life. This is only when you get complete satisfaction. Let me open 6th chapter. I don't know what exactly the sloka Krishna spoke, but he does speak there. See, the kama, lost, we have lost because Krishna is an enjoyer and we want to enjoy, so we get lost. Krodha, Krishna controls everything. We want to control like Krishna, so we cannot and we get mad. Moha, Krishna is ever expanding, everything belongs to Krishna, and we want to act like Krishna and get more and more, and we never satisfy, and we always become very greedy. These three things, when we control and stop doing this and we surrender unto the lotus feet of Krishna, then whatever you have, you are satisfied in that. That is called Krishna consciousness. So, anyway, I could not find it, but it is here somewhere. There. The idea, you got the idea, right? What I wanted to say about Kam, Krodha, Loma, how it is connected to Krishna and how we are trying to become Krishna through that thing. And the opposite sex is the same thing, like we are simply trying to attract somebody else with our action. And in the material world, everybody want to be happy. They want to satisfy their own senses. They think they are the center of activities. And everything they do to satisfy their own self. But they have no idea about God consciousness, loving devotional service, serving for somebody else. But in devotional life, when we come to the devotion and devotee, when we become devotee, we still have this desire that I want to become happy, I want to be free from this desire, I want to be this, and we still focusing on I, even in Krishna consciousness. We do carry the same disease that we had outside of the devotional life, and we try to simply focus on me and me, mine. So as long as we have this tendency, even in Krishna consciousness, then we cannot really release this taste of Krishna consciousness. So giving up me and mine and then completely try to serve Krishna for his pleasure, then every single thing that can be an offering to Krishna's service, Krishna's pleasure, to Krishna. That is what Krishna says, Yagyarthat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Perform your every single activities for the pleasure of me. Make it as a yajna. In material world, what people think, karma is worship, work is worship. But they do not know that how to make the work as a sacrifice. When we do sacrifice, like fire sacrifice, we chant some mantra and we offer something and say swaha. Swa means who, you. Swayam, swa, I am. Ha means to kill. To kill the idea that I am the controller. To kill the idea that I am very important in everything, the center. But you are swahas. So this ahankara, the ego that blocks us from Krishna, that has to completely destroyed and perform the activities. Then that activity become a sacrifice, yajna. Krishna said the same thing in Bhagavad Gita, again another sloka. He says that karman nivadi karasthe. You do have the right to do the things, but ma phaleshu karachana, but never be attached to the result of that. And also give up the idea that you are the cause of the karma, that ma karma phala hetur vur. It's because of me I did this action. And at the same time he says, mate sangas to akarmani. And do not be attached to not doing things. Do not stay idle. He said, do something, perform something, act, and do not think that because of me, this thing has happened, and do not be attached to the result. One sloka, but 5, 6 very deep instruction. So when we know the science of offering our every action, every thought for the pleasure of Krishna, then that becomes pure Krishna consciousness. Then when we act in that way, we take our wife as a devotee of the Lord before we think they are our wife. And a wife can think husband as first devotee of Krishna and then second as her husband. When this understanding and behavior happens in the life of married people, their life become very, very happy. That is exactly what was taught by Lord Shiva and Parvati. They would consider one another as devotee of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, and they would always serve one another as a husband and wife, devotees of Krishna. So when Mother Parvati was offended by her husband, Sati was offended by Prajapati, Daksha Prajapati, and she gave up her body, and Lord Shiva became mad because he thought that was an insult of a devotee of Lord. So otherwise, if we do not have this understanding, then everything we do is simply gratification, another form of sense gratification in our life, and we always remain away from Krishna. We cannot really release the nectar of Krishna consciousness. So as long as we think my wife is all in all, and just for the sake of some little pleasure, one is ready to do anything. We can see in this world. That is what is going on. Everybody is scared of their wife. They become great outside, but when they go home, sorry, I am surrendered to you. You are my boss. Yeah, it is. It is true. It is reality. It's difficult to come out, but it's a practice, good practice. So the idea of a spiritual master, because we have the tendency to become free from God. So in order to bring that desire back to normal, then Krishna arranges spiritual master in our life. At least we are following somebody in our life. If there is no guru concept, if there is no spiritual master or any spiritual authority in our life, then we have that tendency to be free and we cannot bring that tendency back. And unless one is ready to follow one guidance, Krishna will never take such a soul back to Godhead. Never ever. What is the use of him going there if he is not trained to follow the authority? Like we always criticize our teachers in university. When we go to the university, we have so many teachers, and we always say this teacher, this professor doesn't teach very well, he doesn't know very many things, but we criticize, but we never criticize our spiritual master. I have never heard any disciple criticizes his spiritual master, because we have that tie, that attachment to the spiritual master, that loving feeling. And that is what there's a big training that we need to follow somebody in our life in order to be qualified to return back home, back to God. When Krishna sees a devotee that completely surrendered and work under guidance and do not have any thorns and horn and everything, other tails, and he's completely ready, then okay, you can come and practice devotional service in the spiritual world, and then one can return. So following that is the importance of temple. Temple is here because temple is here, so we come here. This is pulling us to Krishna. I request all the devotees who live in Tucson. We have so many devotees. They do have their personal arrangement. Please come and visit temple every day if you can. If not, in all program, at least one, if you can come, Mangalarti is first option. If I miss Mangalarti, Guru Puja is the second option. If I miss Guru Puja, then I can come at least for a few minutes in the Bhagavatam class. If I miss Bhagavatam class, then I can come at least for Prasadam, or maybe not for Prasadam. At least come to the temple in a regular routine basis. That makes our life, that prepares us to return back home, back to God. That we are not still thinking, I am independent, I can survive without temples association, I am mature, I am advanced devotee, I do have a lot of understanding about shastras. All these ideas will sometime fail when we do not have regular authority in our life. Or we may say, I am very connected, closely connected to my spiritual master, so I don't need physically come to the temple. This is also another idea, that I want to free from Krishna. So actually temple is helping us, it's not burdening us, but it is helping us. So it is a good practice to appear in the program and at least find someone and make and listen, follow the person. This will at least take us away from the idea of, I want to be free from God. I am an independent person. I am American person. I am a woman. I do have so many genders. I am free. My body, my rights. All these ideas are separating mentality. We are still trying to run away from Krishna many lifetimes. These all these barriers blocking us, completely blocking us from Krishna. And if we can, coming to Krishna, we need to wait him to open his curtain, not that Krishna wait us. When you open the curtain, devotee come after 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, running. Oh yeah, and Krishna has to wait for us. This is also like one kind of offense. Maybe not offense, but it's kind of seva aparad. You heard about seva aparada? That means we do not have that eagerness to see Krishna in our life. That's why we come always late. If I have that desire, yes, let me go and wait for Krishna. How he has been dressed today, let me see. What flowers he is wearing today, what garlands he is wearing. This is all about small details, but it's very important in our Krishna conscious life. Then slowly give up this desire to enjoying spirit mentality, enjoy in Krishna's service. That is what real enjoyment is. Krishna says, serve me and enjoy yourself. Otherwise, if you try to enjoy apart from me, I will let you do that, but you will not be satisfied. At some point, you feel frustrated. Okay, this is where I stop. And if we have any questions or any comment, we have a few minutes before we are ready for prasadam. If you do not agree any of the point I make, please speak. Samana, you have something? All right. No discussion? Yeah, Prabhuji.
Well, I don't have any question, but I think it's always a good point to see how, like you were saying, a lot of the reason we're here and the reason we're caught up is because we're still trying to be God, and we really need to analyze that. And I thought that how you mentioned Kama, Krodha, and Lobha, how that all originally ties in us trying to be God is something really to meditate on, because it's hard sometimes to really be able to figure out, well, exactly how am I trying to be God? And I always nailed it down to you're still trying to be the supreme enjoyer and you're still trying to be the supreme controller. But you took it a step further with what Krishna mentioned as the 3 gates and pathways to hell.
Thank you so much. It's a beautiful, that's the point we need to. Kama, Krodha, Loma, these things can be utilized in Krishna's service, but the idea of their origin is that we somehow want to become, want to be like God. So we need to work on those subtle things that are present in our life. And idea of me and mine should completely given up in order to serve Krishna. Sri Sri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Even though I do not like temple authority, but I should come to temple and serve temple and follow the authority. Even though I do not like, because Krishna act in different way. We do not have any idea how Krishna act. I already told he shoot an arrow and target many targets. He puts us in such a way that ultimately that will bring good benefit in our life. So devotees in Tucson, we have so many devotees. Please make it at least weekend, if not every day, and make a utsav festival every day, festival, Krishna conscious festival. Practice among the devotees, and then make this Guru Puja Kirtan like mini Mayapur, lot of devotees. Yeah, this actually helps one another to develop, to grow in Krishna consciousness. I come to temple not for my pleasure. The mode should be I come to temple so that other devotee feel happy by seeing me. So that other devotee get encouraged to come to temple, because he also come. If we have that mood to help, to enhance that, ultimately Srila Prabhupada become very happy when devotee come to the temple. If we do not come, Prabhupada he will be in anxiety. We are giving anxiety to devotee, not by not coming to the temple. This is not a service, it's disservice. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Girls, three girls are very excited. Please say something. Speak up, please. Don't feel shy. It's because you are the future leader. You are the great leader of future of Krishna consciousness. North American leaders. All right, say something. Okay, thank you. Senior devotees, Prabhu and Mataji say something, guide us something. Yeah.
Once in a while, I'll check myself because I'm thinking, Krishna, it's so hard for us, and it's not hard for you. So that's like envy, and then I'm like, whoa, that's not a good consciousness at all. That's the only thing I could really think of.
Yeah, we remain conscious at every second, every action we do. We try to connect Krishna.
And then also, I wanted to mention, Jiro gave a great class the other day, and
Yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday, and it just really inspired us to, you talk about the sandwich. You have the morning program,
Right.
You have the evening program, and in the evening you're like more mode of ignorance and tired. But we started reading before we go to bed, after dinner, and it's really good, because then I wake up, I'm chanting my rounds, I'm thinking about what we read, and so we kind of added that to our. We always read in the afternoon Bhagavatam, but we just added that because we're reading the Mahabharata. We've read it a few times, but anyway, so coming to the temple and hearing the class, then you get inspired.
Yeah. I want to see all our devotees who live in Tucson at least gather once a week in a temple and make it really exciting event for everybody. Yes, Mataji.
Hi Krishna, thank you for a very exciting morning program and very nice Guru Puja. Very sweet to see all the devotees chanting. We're visiting from Dallas, so it was very nice to be part of your morning program. So thank you.
We were very much excited by seeing your presence this morning. Haribol, you brought pleasure in different level to the devotee's life here in Tucson. And this is the time to wrap it up and time for prasadam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.